everyone, and welcome to All Things STEM with Ashley. I'm super excited about our guest today, Kyle Davis.
Hey.
Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm excited for you to be here today.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, y'all, let me tell y'all about Kyle. Kyle is an aeronautical engineer where he coordinates with several cross-functional product development teams to track package progress, new contracts, priority alignment, and technical issues supporting the aerospace industry. He is also the founder of the Davis Foundation Gives, a nonprofit organization that supports the aspirations of young professionals and students throughout mentorship and scholarships from and near his hometown of Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. So welcome, Kyle.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So first, I want to talk about your STEM journey, and then we'll get more into your foundation and how people can support. So how did you get interested in STEM? Tell us about your journey, like elementary school till now, or however you first got interested.
Okay, so I'll start in high school. So at my senior year in high school, my cousin graduated from engineering. And to back up a little bit further than that, my sisters was the first to graduate university.
Yeah.
So that would expose me to even thinking about a higher education. Mm-hmm. And then my cousin Todd, he graduated in electronics engineering.
Yeah.
And then I started looking into what engineers do. And then I figured out that engineers worked on iPhones.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be an innovator for Apple.
Yeah.
So I looked through electrical, electronic, and mechanical engineer, and I chose electrical.
I love that.
Because it's more of the math base, and I think I'm better in math than the sciences.
I love that. Thank you, Kyle. So now we're going to get into some more about, your mentors and role models and things like that. So do you have any role models or mentors that have influenced your journey in STEM? I know you touched on your cousin and your sister. Yeah. Do you have any more that helped throughout your journey to get to where you are now?
Yes. So my brother-in-law, Marcus Baskin, he was a civil engineer, and he told me about his journey and how he got there and why he chose civil engineering. So also Shyrek Stevenson, he worked for Dow for over two decades.
Okay.
And he brought me along his STEM program where he was mentoring young African-American males in the engineering space. So he was like a very pivotal figure in my growth as an engineer.
Okay, awesome, Kyle. So were there any challenges that you faced while you were growing up that made pursuing a STEM career difficult?
Yes, so I would call it the unknown. So it's not the things that you know that hurt you, it's the things that you don't know.
Right.
So not having access to the engineering field or people that was in the engineering space was very difficult for me to get an understanding of what it is or if I'm actually interested in that field. Mm-hmm. So that was probably the most challenging part of finding my way into engineering is the environment and not having those tools and people to come back and express what engineering is.
So Kyle, can you please explain an overview of what electrical engineering does and what it entails?
Yes, electrical engineering is a study and application of electricity, electronics, and electrical magnesium, which is a branch of physics. So that goes into the magnetic fields and also charges and things of that nature. And we use that background knowledge to solve real world problems.
I love it. Thank you. So what is one project or accomplishment that you are particularly proud of during your STEM career?
Yes, I think it'll be two. So my first one was NASA. Okay. So I was able to do a research with NASA where we program a circuit board to detect the heat coming from the sun. I was studying how global warming impacts the south part of Texas. Mm-hmm. So that was one of my first time actually being involved in engineering and actually doing something as a freshman.
Yes.
So that gave me the urge to keep going in my engineering career.
That's excellent. What's the second one?
My second one is what I'm currently doing. Just knowing that the things I'm working on now will be used 5-10 years from now. Yeah. So it's very exciting to work on those cutting edge technologies.
That's excellent. Making a difference, making an impact. Okay. So you just spoke about, things going in the future and future technologies. My next question is, how do you see emerging technologies like artificial intelligence shaping the future of electrical engineering?
Yes, so I think electrical engineers specifically will become AI managers. Mm-hmm. So I think, at least at my company, we're using coding, artificial intelligence now, and we're talking about how do we scale it to make sure that we're getting a lot of accurate information. Mm-hmm. So what I'm seeing now is we're learning more about the AI space, we're getting AI trainings. So I think we should be managers of AI.
That's excellent. Yeah. I love that. It'll definitely make things more efficient.
Yes.
For sure. And we do still need that human interface though for checking and just small things that a computer is going to just be coded to do what it should do.
Right.
But we need that human check for the errors.
And also the nuances, right? Because I don't think those artificial intelligence is what we input into it, right? So if it doesn't have that nuanced perspective of how to solve problems that grows and evolves over time, it can be outdated if you're not always inputting the right information.
That's something people don't realize. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that aspect. So we kind of talked about how electrical engineering, what it is and what it does. So how does electrical engineering interact with other disciplines such as computer science, mechanical engineering, or civil engineering, or other types of engineering?
Yes, I'll start off with computer science. So in my undergrad years, we had to take coding classes from computer sciences. So now that kind of merged into what I'm doing now, which is also coding.
Okay.
So I think that's how electrical engineering and computer science kind of molds together, because you have to understand both sides of it in today's time to be a competitive engineer, but also keep a competitive engineering company afloat and thriving. But also, if you think about it in the most simplest aspects of civil engineering, which is similar to architects, right? They build the buildings, they build the bridges. So when you think about a building, or let's say a large grocery store,
right?
If you think about power distribution, which is electrical engineering, you have to understand how much voltage, watts you could send to that building, right? But that building also has to be able to withstand that type of electricity and power. Right. So that kind of merges electrical engineering and civil engineering.
Oh, wow, that's great. See, you're spreading gems to the audience today. So we talked about how it interacts with other types of engineering. I want to ask, since electrical engineering is such a broad field, what are some different career paths within it that people may not be aware of?
So I would say biomedical engineering, robotics, and renewable energy. So I go back into power distribution, but on the nuclear power side. Energy, I worked at a nuclear power station at Energy in Mississippi, and where we use steam and steam turbines to generate power and generate energy. Yeah. So that's part of the renewable energy part that people might not think about electrical engineering in that frame.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. So now, what resources, books, or courses would you recommend to someone just starting out electrical engineering? Like, is there something that helped you? Like, I know for people in Math Cons Academy, it's like amazing. Is there anything that you're like, this resource will help someone in college or help someone entering electrical engineering, even in the workplace?
Yes, I would say Engineering Mindset on YouTube.
Okay.
They do a good job at illustrating the concepts of engineering and how electricity flows and the different concepts and nuances of that. So electrical engineering is very theory based, and you have to have a creative mindset. So being able to actually see an illustration of it kind of helps you understand what's going on. Yeah. And also anything with Nikola Tesla. Okay. So I would say look at his documentaries and read his bibliographies, because he was like the forefather of DC, which is direct current. Okay. So yeah, back in years ago, we used to have like candle lights and things of that nature to light up rooms and things of that nature. We didn't have like cities like New York or Chicago where you see these skyscrapers lit up with lights, right? So he was the forefather of creating the DC current and taking it all the way up to the government and marketing that to make it that a worldwide thing. Awesome. So yeah, he's a very inspirational and thought provoking when it comes to electrical engineering. So yeah.
Thank you, guys. So now, kind of how we talked about emerging technologies earlier, just an overall change over the next 5 to 10 years. How do you see the field of electrical engineering evolving over the next 5 to 10 years, like in any way?
Yeah, so I think we'll have to pay attention to AI and see where AI goes, because I think AI will allow us to scale our productivity. So I would say stay tuned for that. Yeah. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to young men considering a career in STEM but are unsure about balancing it with their life and other interests?
Yeah, so I would say, just in my experience working across 3 different companies over the past 5 years, I would say that engineers normally work 40-hour work weeks until you get to like that mid level and senior level. That's when your time is on more demand of the company. So I say for early engineers, it's a cool balance. It's not too much work yet. You don't have to take work home with you. Yeah. So I think it's a great balance starting off your first 1 to 5 years. But if you're very ambitious and you want to really be a leader at your company, then you have to manage your time, put everything into a calendar, talk with your spouse or your loved one to explain to him or her what the expectations you have and where you see your family going as well. So y'all all have understanding of what y'all as a collective are trying to do.
I love that. And like you said, put it in that calendar.
Yes.
What other skills do you use for time management? Is there a specific calendar? Is it your phone calendar? Or like what are some tips for time management?
So I use Google Calendar, my iPhone calendar, and those are 2 major ones, and reminders. Okay. So I always have like reminders set up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So now I want to ask, what is the best piece of career advice you have received and how has it shaped your path?
Yes, stay curious and always have the student mentality, no matter what level you're at, because people love people that are curious about their work
Right.
and also have a passion and their own self curiosity to figure things out. And as long as you have those type of attitudes,
Yeah.
you'll be easy to work with.
Okay. Thank you. Now I want to ask because I do feel like I like to focus on women in STEM as well. So I want to ask how have women impacted your STEM journey? And it doesn't have to be a women's STEM, it could be even your support system like your sister and things like that. How have women made a positive impact in you?
Yes, I'll say starting off with my mother. She was always big on education.
Yeah.
So even though she didn't graduate college,
Right.
she made sure that her kids were in those spaces, or at least always talking to us about why you should get education, what's the benefits of it,
Yeah.
what does it look like 10 and 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And then I would say to my sisters, the first two individuals to graduate college in our family.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to my college level, which was Miss Heather Tanner.
Yeah.
She was always pouring into me and giving me access to different conferences, scholarships, and just believing in me as a young, inspiring engineer. And also Miss Tamara Montgomery. So she taught me professional development.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with professional development after getting to know her and learn from her. And I became a student ambassador for the career services.
That's awesome.
So those are the key women in my life that helped me grow as an engineer and as a person.
Yeah, and where did you go for undergrad again?
I graduated from BSUN University, and I also went to LSU, Louisiana State University, on a dual program.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. And can you give us some of those resources or conferences that you got to attend during your collegiate years that helped you get here?
Yes, so the main one was NSBE, so that's National Societies of Black Engineers. So they have their regionals and also nationals.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So at these conferences, did your career center like help you with mock interview prep or anything like that? So yeah, it's important to get your resume looked over, to do mock interviews for when you get to these conferences. And did you get to keep in contact with people after you left the conferences? Did you get to network?
Yes, yes. So one of my key advice is figure out what you're doing, what you're going there for, who you're trying to meet, create an Excel sheet of the people that you want to meet up with. Start generating questions of interest, right? So go to their LinkedIn profile, go to their company's website where they have their bios and information. And like I said, always stay curious and figure out what interests you about them. And then you try to nail questions around that. And then I could build a personal relationship, but also a working relationship as well. And then after that conference, I'll wait 2 to 3 weeks because, you know, some people travel to those conferences. So they have family, they have kids, they have parents as well, and people that depend on them. So giving them time to get back settled at home, but also keeping in the back of your mind that, hey, I want to reach out to this person and make it a good time for them to respond as well.
Yay. I love that, Kyle. That's excellent. Next, we're going to get on what advice would you give to young engineers or students interested in pursuing a career in electrical engineering?
Yes, so if you have the temperament for failure, but temperament for math and science. That's the major things. I know people say chase your passions, but also you have to understand who you are as a person and what are you looking to develop as well. Because just because you're not a savvy mathematician doesn't mean you can't train yourself to become a well-rounded mathematician. Right. But do you want to develop yourself into that? Yeah. And that's where I think the fork in the road is. So of course, follow your passion, but understand what innate gifts that you have, and try to focus on your strengths and the weaknesses that you do care about. Develop those so you can build yourself as a whole and hopefully become an engineer yourself.
I want to ask, what are 3 tips for success in navigating your STEM journey?
I would say 3 tips for success for navigating your STEM journey is 1, discipline, networking, and staying curious. Okay. Yeah, I think if you follow those 3 paths, it will lead you into the direction that you want to be and you're supposed to be as well. Through discipline, you have to build that up, especially as a freshman, sophomore, before you get into those major courses, because those are less forgiving. They're very difficult. And one thing I teach my mentees is that you no longer have a teacher, you have an instructor. Yeah. So in high school, your teacher would do 80% of the work and you would just do 20%, right? Show up for class, take the exam, listen. Right? Instructors, they will be lecturing you. Yeah. Whether you pick up on it or not, that's up to you. Yeah. Did you read before and after class? That's up to you. Are you showing up on time for class? That's up to you. Right. So understanding and building that discipline is very important. Also staying curious because engineering is a very broad field, and you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into one area just because you feel comfortable in that space, because something else might be on the horizon for you that will grow you beyond your belief. Yeah. And then I would say the last one was Stay curious, discipline, and
Harper.
uh,
Networking.
networking. Networking. So finding your tribe. So I know sometimes networking gives like a negative connotation of, oh, I'm just trying to use this person to get to where I'm trying to be. But no, it's building your tribe, it's building your community. And if you're networking in that way, you will have your friends, thriving friends in those spaces as well, opposed to just people that you just call on for a favor.
That's true. That's true. I just did an episode of networking. Everybody needs to tune in episode 9 because it's true. Build your own connections, provide value. Like you said, it's not just take. And it's important to follow up with them, not just when, like you said, when you need something, but have a genuine connection.
Yes, yes.
I love that. So thank you for sharing your STEM journey. I'm excited now to pivot into your nonprofit. So first, tell us about your nonprofit and what motivated you to start this nonprofit.
Yes, so my nonprofit is called the Davis Foundation Gives. It's a 501c nonprofit. And it started with my grandparents. So one of my grandparents was a sharecropper. And after doing her days of work, she'll collaborate with her friends and share food together. So all of them didn't have a lot of food because they'll give it off to the owner of the land and things of that nature. So they'll come together as a community to share and make sure people always have something to eat. And my other grandmother, still to this day, she loves cooking and she would feed anybody that's within the community. So having that give back attitude was always instilled in my family, also my mother as well. So I wanted to make sure that my last name in my city rings bells and have a positive connotation to it. So what we do at the Davis Foundation Gives is we mentor graduating seniors from high school and graduating seniors from college. And we also give them scholarships to go on into starting their engineering or starting their profession, or not really engineering, but just starting their college years, because scholarships always help, right? So I want to give back and also mentor them as they grow into their careers and grow as a young student.
Yes, I love that. So where can people learn more about either donating, helping, and growing your platform? Where can we find out about it? Is it online? Is there a website? What is it? Can you list it out?
Yes, I would say on Instagram is the Davis Foundation Gives, and on LinkedIn the Davis Foundation Gives.
Okay.
And all information should be there.
And do you have to be from your hometown to apply to these scholarships or to be in the programs? Okay.
That's our first targets.
Okay, yeah.
So we would like to target people that's in the Bow Bridge area and surrounding communities. But if people don't apply, of course, we'll give that to the people in need as well.
Right, and everyone can donate at these platforms too, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So y'all check it out, donate, go see how Kyle is making an impact. So how you balance doing your nonprofit and working full time and still having time to mentor and have time for self-care? How do you balance everything?
Yeah, so I'm regularly waking up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 to work out, get myself settled and centered for the workspace. Then after I finish my workspace, I have enough time in the afternoon because I get to work early around 5:30. So I'll be able to get off early because of my company's flexibility. So I have the rest of the evening to do mentoring or reaching out for sponsorships or things of that nature.
I love it. Awesome, Kyle. So what's next for you in your nonprofit? And then I want to go into what's next for you in your career and what you hope to achieve in the future.
Yes, for my nonprofit, I would love to get more sponsorships, also scaling it, because one of the major goals is to pay off an engineering class debt. So that's one of my major goals, and that's like a 10-year, 15-year plan.
I love that. And then as we close today, what's next for you in your career?
So growing as an engineer, trying to become more seasoned and polished and be like a leader, expert in my space. So learning AI as well. I'm currently coding and I'm reading up on AI as well. So just trying to stay in tune and make sure when the next wave of technology happens, I'm at the forefront of it.
So Kyle, you told us all about electrical engineering and all the different types of people you get to collaborate with. Can you tell us about your transition from electrical engineering into systems engineering and what system engineering entails?
Yes, so I got hired on at Collins Aerospace for a co-op opportunity in Richardson, Texas.
Okay.
And throughout that 8-month process, I found a liking into the system engineering process. My main role was understanding communications through different devices that were not supposed to communicate to each other, but were engineered to make it do so, to keep their conversations and frequencies away from people that we don't want to hear or interact with because we are in the defense space. So keeping those those conversations and I guess orders private is a very important thing. And when you're doing that with different devices that don't normally communicate with each other, it's hard for somebody to hack into that.
Yeah.
So that kind of made me more inspired to become a system engineer.
Yeah.
Then upon graduation, I was able to get hired by another aerospace company, and that kind of where that all led to.
I love it.
Yeah.
And was it? Were there any courses you had to take? Any tools maybe you need to learn to become a systems engineer from electronics engineering or electrical engineering?
Yeah. So and that's a great point. So if you're electronics engineer, it'll probably be more difficult to get in the system engineering space because of you might not have the coursework like signals and systems and some of the more communication based engineering classes that electrical engineering students do take. Okay. So I think it'll be more easier to get into those spaces in aerospace or Department of Defense if you go the electrical engineering route because electrical engineering is broader than electronics engineer. Okay. Electronics is a branch of electrical engineering.
Thank you. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for sharing your STEM journey with us and information about your nonprofit that's impacting so many lives. I'm super excited that we got to hear your journey today and everything you learned along the way. So is there anything else you would like to share with us before we close out today?
Yes, so it'll be more directed towards the young, inspiring engineers or young people in tech, is to honestly stay curious. Really pick up books on the things that you may be curious about and get deep on those topics and subjects. And use your LinkedIn profile. Reach out to people on LinkedIn and figure out what do they do on a day-to-day basis. And that could build your rapport of networking and engineers and people in tech, whether it's software or any type of engineering. So I would say stay curious, build your network, and have fun with it. Because it's a difficult journey, but it's fulfilled. It's a very fruitful journey. So I would say stay curious and build your network as early as possible.
I love it. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us today. Thank you all for watching at home or listening online because we are officially on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and YouTube podcasts. So thank you for watching and please like and subscribe on YouTube. We'll see you next time. Bye.